online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hello, welcome to the Law & Order Special Victims Unit AfterBuzz After Show. I'm your host, Yael Tygiel. With me, as always, Roya, Taheri.
Hello, everybody.
We're talking about Glasgowman's wrath.
I forgot my eye patch.
Well, that's okay. We have glasses,
That's true. Like Zoe.
like Zoe, so we don't need our eye patch like Charles.
Yeah, I love how you gave him the full name.
Charles.
I like Charlie.
He deserves Charles.
He does after tonight's episode. Or
Yeah.
that episode, yes.
Yeah, last episode.
Yes.
It wasn't tonight. Not tonight.
It depends on when you're listening and when you're watching. Did you watch the episode tonight and then you're putting this on? Then it's tonight.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah.
We're talking about Glasgowman's Wrath, which, for those who don't know, which was me, just me, all the fans knew and let me know, was ripped from the headline of the Slenderman murders, which we will talk all about the Slenderman in a little bit. Before we begin, little disclaimer, as always. Guys, this case specifically talked a lot about, I want to say it was child abuse, child-on-child abuse.
And schizophrenia.
And schizophrenia, mental health. So just so everyone is aware, we know these are serious issues, and we know that they're, that there are victims, and these are things that people deal with. But sometimes the conversation gets so dark that we have to make inappropriate jokes, and it helps us deal with the situation at hand. Yes. Is there something you want to say?
No, I just love how your phone got a message and you're like, squirrel.
You texted me. So, also, we want to give you the hotline for anyone who's a victim of sexual assault. Roya, give us the hotline.
Yes, it's 1-800-656-HOPE. That's 1-800-656-HOPE. HOPE.
Awesome. Okay, let's talk about the episode. We start with three young girls. We have Zoe, Mia, and Perry. Anybody know a girl named Perry? Like a young girl named Perry?
But this whole cast, like the little girls, kind of remind me of a female version of Harry Potter. Like the gang. We had Hermione. We had Ron was the
redhead.
Yes,
Yeah.
and then Harry Potter was the glasses.
With Zoe.
Zoe, yeah.
I see it.
Because Hermione was smart, and
That's true. I'll take it. I will totally allow this.
and I will explain more when we get into the Slenderman discussion about where that came from.
Okay. So we have these three girls, and it's the night after Halloween, which is why it drives me crazy that this episode was delayed a week.
I agree. The suspense of this episode would have been great for the Halloween time frame.
Yeah. So it was the night after Halloween, and they go into the woods looking for Glasgowman. But really what happens is Zoe trips and is found the next day, stabbed a handful of times. And Mia and Perry are missing. Then we go on this wild goose chase of trying to find the girls, and we meet Charlie Darcy in the woods, in his cave, really, where he's hiding from the police. And it turns out that Charlie Darcy is mentally ill. He has an eye patch that is really just like a comfort thing for him. And he has to wear it on one eye in the sun and the other eye in the dark. Yes?
When the eye patch was being moved over to each side, the string kept getting into his eye, and I'm like, oh, that actor's doing really well not cracking right now, because if I was playing that role, I'd be like, it's in my eye. Can you, do better? Can we practice this?
Well, my favorite thing was that we would see his face without the patch when he was in the police station, and he had
Tan
the
lines?
sunburn.
Yeah.
And, one side had the sunburn of where the the strings of the eye patch go, and the other side it was just the eye, and I'm like, oh, because it's when he goes into the dark. I love it. Love that. The makeup department was like, oh, I got this.
Yes.
Sunburn his face. Leave the eyes white.
Yes. Make it more important.
Yeah. It was great. I actually really like this character, you know? It makes it sounds weird because at first he's the suspect. But he was a good guy, and he meant well, and like he only fought when he was provoked.
Yeah.
I really like this character.
I knew kind of right off the bat that the fact that the lady saw him when she was bird watching, carrying the child out, the way that he was carrying her, I was like, he's not guilty. There's no way.
Yeah. Yeah. And the way Zoe describes him with he has a scar, and I love that when they're looking for Charlie before they discover who he is, Carisi says to the cadets as they're going to go through the park, like, for what it's worth, she said he was wearing an eye patch. Like basically, we know that this is a child eyewitness, so whatever she may have come up with may have been in her mind.
Yeah.
And then he was wearing an eye patch.
He was.
Yeah, Zoe's on it.
And that cadet, though, was really kind of, I could tell from the start that he was going to be really obnoxious in this episode.
Oh, the one who tasered him?
Yeah.
I was so frustrated. But what bothers me most about this episode is that I don't hate Carisi anymore.
I agree. His character definitely grew in my eyes. I enjoyed him a lot more, and I want to see more of him.
Me too, and I hate it. It's been 4 episodes with him, and he's grown so much.
I don't think his character is going to be a bad guy.
I know.
I don't think our negative, perverted, thoughts about what he was going to do is going to be actually happening.
Yeah, no. Because, I mean, the first time we meet him, he's like, I could do that empathy thing. And now we see him, and he can. He empathizes. He also, when we find the 2 girls, when we find Mia and Perry, and they're at the gateway, which we'll talk a little bit about, he, sees that there's something wrong. He sees that that Mia's tied up, and Perry's only stabbed on one side. And he can see it. There's this great shot of him wait a second. And he's piecing it together. And I'm like, damn it, Carisi, I want to hate you.
It's because of the mustache. It's gone. The mustache was holding him back. It happens.
You think he's smarter now?
So No Shave November, or whatever that's called, is going to hold some guys back. I'm just saying. If they shave the mustache, they could be smarter.
Okay.
He's proof.
Yes. Because we should always... I think this episode specifically...
Only if you have a mustache. If you have a beard, that's a different story. You're wise if you have a beard. Mustache, you got something you're hiding.
I think the weird thing is from this episode specifically to be taking the story of it and applying it to real life is such a ironic meta discussion. Because it's a story about people who took a story and made it real, and now we're taking this story and the fact that he had the mustache and making it real, applying that to real life.
Well, the voices told me to do it, so.
We'll get to your voices in a second. So we meet Leslie, who is a man, who is the babysitter, who made up the stories of Glasgowman.
There was something off about his character. I know he was a little crazy, he's all about the comic books.
He's an eccentric artist.
I wanted there to be more about this guy.
You wanted him to be
because he was a random babysitter.
Yeah.
Which we find out that the mother of, was it Perry? Just doesn't really care about her child very much. She's a single mother.
No, Perry was like the stereotypical trashy mom. And I think that was on purpose so that when Perry was at the end the perpetrator, that it was because she didn't, we're supposed to believe that she had it rough. Her mom doesn't care. Her mom's really crappy. Therefore, she dove into this imaginary world and brought it out and did terrible things, and she'll get better. And then we find out that that's probably not what it was.
Mia has 2 loving mothers.
Yeah.
And is that a first for SVU to
No.
have? But to not even have any comment about there being 2 mothers?
Maybe. Because the only one I could think of is the one with the little girl who the story turned out she stabbed someone because they were making fun of her, and then it turned out that she had 2 mothers and that her grandparents suggested that one of the mothers abused her. because of whatever reasons, and they were homophobic and whatever that story was. That's the only one I can think of.
Okay.
So this would be, I think, the only like positive. She has 2 moms, and no one, like, there's no divorced, like, there's no dad, there's no one cares.
I was really, like, that relationship, it was very, like, they kind of just skimmed over it.
Yeah.
I know it's not an important relationship whatsoever, but because it develops about the characters and the daughters and why they are the way they are.
Yeah.
I thought maybe they were aunts, like that was a mom and that was her sister joining her. But then when they kept calling my daughter, they each said my daughter. I was like, oh.
Well, I mean, when they first walked in, they go, we're her moms.
But they said it so quickly.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. I missed it, but the second time I caught on to it when I watched it.
But I think that is the point, is I think that they want you to, it's irrelevant. These kids have 2 loving mothers, 2 loving parents. It doesn't matter what they are. Yeah.
Just thought I'd bring that up.
Yes. I think it was great. So
Thanks,
Leslie,
Yael.
Yeah.
Do I get my star?
No.
No.
So Leslie is this eccentric babysitter who's weird, and he wrote these stories, and really he started by just telling them these stories, and then realized that people enjoy them, and so he's making it a comic and whatever, and he has art everywhere, including the map that they're looking for. And we find out that there is a mansion. That is where the girls were trying to go with Glasgowman. They're trying to go to the mansion, and in the mansion there is no school, there is no homework. There is...
Well, I don't think there'd be any homework if there's no school.
There are no chores. Why you gotta be that way?
I hate homework. That's why.
Well, I give you homework every week.
Damn it.
So in the mansion there are portals to other realms. In my mind, the question is, what are the other realms?
Yeah.
Right?
I wonder that too.
Like, great, there are other realms. What if the other realms are really crappy? Like, what if they're full of homework?
So you're saying if you jump and you're stuck there and you go to other realms because you can't go back to Earth or our realm, that you're stuck in realms that might actually have tons of homework?
Yeah, like, ladies, great, there are other realms.
Think ahead, right?
Why don't we ask what... You know what I mean? I imagine him telling them the story and they'd be like, oh, other realms? That could be anything. Yeah, including... slave camps and homework lands.
Yeah, and Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, like, come on. If you're really excited, find out what you're excited about. Sorry, it really bothered me.
So you're saying if you were their age, you would have thought that out?
Yeah, I would have been like, other realms? What other realms?
See, I would have been like, oh, Mia, Perry, yeah, peace out. I'm going. This story is too scary for me. Bye-bye. I'm going to go do my homework.
Oh, like, you're Zoe.
Yeah, people love me. Just kind of.
Well, we find Perry and Mia. They're at the gateway to the mansion. So apparently you need to get to the gateway where Slender Man will take you to his mansion with the portals. All right, sure. My question is, how did no one else, looking at the crime scene, we have a dead cat outside.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
Yeah, no one likes that they killed a cat.
Meow.
That is the worst thing to do on an SVU episode.
Yeah.
Is kill a cat.
I agree. Everything else we can handle. There's hotlines for it, but there's no hotlines for when you kill a cat.
Right?
Oh, it's not fair.
A listener should start a hotline. We'll call them.
The number could be, call right meow.
Nice. So we see Mia and Perry, and Mia's tied up. Perry's been stabbed just in her arms. Mia's been stabbed. And Carisi is the only one who notices that something's off with this crime scene.
Yeah.
Which is weird. And then we get Perry telling what happened, and it sounds so fake, but like everyone's like, oh, like tell us about it. Oh, that's what happened. And then they only figure out that it's not real when she identifies Charlie as the one who did it, and they're like, Charlie's been with us all day. It took them...
They were really good at crying about it. he took us, and I was really scared, and I didn't want to do it. Like, that was so freaky.
Well, yeah, I mean, you would cry about it too if you knew you were going to get caught in your lie.
No, because I wouldn't. Nope. I would not get caught with my lie. That's where you're wrong. So you think about your realms, I think about how to not to get caught with my lie.
That's a lie right there.
You have no proof.
I do have proof. 10 minutes ago you asked me, I would have thought ahead. Yeah. See, you don't think ahead. You were...
Maybe that was part of my lie to cover up.
Wrong. All right, so Perry ends up taking the fall. Mia is free to go, but everyone is encouraged to get help. We find out that Charlie is set free. He's innocent. He had nothing to do, but he's going to go to a place that will help him. He's not going to go to jail. Even though he violated his parole, he's going to go to a mental health facility.
I hope he comes back and healthy.
Charlie?
Yes.
I'm going to doubt it.
Why not?
Because that doesn't happen on this show very often.
You never know.
You do know. It's very rare. And if they do, it's
if
a
Baby
big...
Benson comes back.
It's a big
Then Charlie
guest star.
can make it come back.
Okay.
I want Charlie back.
In the elevator, the finals... I'm just cutting you off.
Yeah, go for it.
Carisi notices that Mia and Perry link pinkies as best friends do.
Was that a best friend thing?
Yes.
I got like a lover thing.
It's that they're in on it together. They both got away with it.
Yeah, but at the same time, Zoe makes a comment that she's barged into, was it Perry's room or Mia's room, and said, oh, and then they got mad, and Perry pushed me down, and Mia just stepped on me and ran off. So she barged into the room without knocking.
Right, because...
So maybe they were doing something.
I don't think so. I think it's the way you barge... You have older siblings, don't you?
I never barge into my... I've learned.
Yeah, she's still
But
learning.
that's because they were doing something. That's why they got mad.
No.
Yes.
Wrong.
Nope.
Okay.
Do you have older siblings?
Yeah.
And you never barged in on them?
Not when they were doing stuff. They knew how to lock the door.
If you don't have a lock on your door at that age.
I don't understand not having locks on your door.
But
Yeah, no, that doesn't make sense to me. We always had locks.
we did it.
Yeah. Well.
I'm just saying.
'Cause your
Maybe
parents don't trust you.
Maybe Mia or the house didn't come with locks, okay?
All right.
So I'm just saying, maybe Mia and Perry had more of a relationship than it shows. Ron and Hermione.
Sure.
Just saying.
I'll take it. Great. That was Glasgowman's Wrath. Guys, I want to take a moment to thank you for downloading and listening and streaming and dealing with our discussions. That's what I'm going to call it. Thank you. We love this show so much. Clearly. Yes.
There was one thing you didn't talk about.
What?
When Nick and Rollins and Carisi they had to choose. There was their love triangle.
When Rollins clearly chose Carisi?
Yeah.
Yeah, because Nick was trying to be all, like, protective, like, don't go to the park alone. You don't know what can happen. And she's like, I can handle myself, Nick. And he's like, I know you can, but I care. That part didn't happen.
What part?
Anyway, then she had to choose, and she chose Carisi because he's getting better. Yeah.
Where did that part come from?
Which part?
Nick and Rollins.
It was after they met Perry's mom and her cop boyfriend. They meet the mom and the cop boyfriend in Perry's room.
Which they have a hamster.
They have a hamster. The phones are in the hamster cage.
The hamster was working out.
Yeah. Then Rollins is like, great, you call Olivia and deal with this. I'm going to go to the park. And Nick is like, no, I'll go to the park. You shouldn't go alone. And Rollins is like, no, you go deal with Olivia. You're better at calming her down. Because no one told Olivia initially, remember?
And then she says, I'll take Carisi with me.
No, Carisi's later when they want to interrogate Charlie. Yeah.
I didn't see Rollins go to the park by herself.
She didn't. We didn't see it.
Well, anyways, I just like the little confrontation there between them, the three of them.
You just really like this Rollins-Nick thing.
Well, yeah, and Carisi's always the one that sees them.
Yeah, he is always interrupting them.
Am I in the middle of something?
He's the Zoe.
So, yes. So you agree there is a love connection.
No. Okay.
You walked into
I
that
was in the middle of something.
Go
Guys, thank you for downloading and streaming. We appreciate it. We ask you to do one very simple thing. Go onto iTunes, rate and review the show. If you like our show, give us 5 stars. If you don't like our show, fine. Give us 4 stars. We appreciate any stars that are above 4. So thank you. Also leave comments. We appreciate that as well. Usually we give shout outs, but I was busy doing my research and I apologize. So next week, shout outs to anyone who wrote reviews. All right, let's talk about the story that inspired this episode.
Yeah. Take it away.
The Slender Man. So there is a fictional character called the Slender Man. He was written about online on a forum, just some thread on a forum called Something Awful in 2009. Mm-hmm. From there, Slender Man has grown into this giant idea. It reminds me a lot of the the flying spaghetti monster. Are you familiar with this?
No.
It's an atheist creation of if people can believe in God, then they could believe in a flying spaghetti monster.
How would the spaghetti monster look?
It's this giant thing of spaghetti with meatball eyes. Point is this.
Oh, is it edible?
No. Point is this. It started out, someone wrote something online, and it really shows the world we live in, where someone making a statement turned into a huge thing. And the Slender Man is that. It was a story about a man who was very slender, and he had long arms and or tentacles. He's, just commonly described as very tall and thin with unnaturally long tentacle-like arms or just merely tentacles. He can intimidate and capture prey. He likes to kill children for some reason.
Sounds like a skinny version of Ursula or something.
Yeah, kind of. And he doesn't have a face. He seems to have just a white face. So he's very similar to those characters from Buffy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a lot of the man who created him was like, ooh, I like all these things. I'm going to put them together in one character.
I wonder if he was a Buffy follower.
Probably. He always wears a tall, thin black suit.
Again, yeah.
Yeah, from Buffy. So here's the thing. It went viral from the Something Awful forum and extended onto a fan fiction site called Creepypasta. Sure. I actually went and looked it up on Creepypasta. That site does not make sense to me.
Creepypasta?
Yeah, I don't understand their
layout?
Yeah, the layout and design of that site. I got really distracted. Was there
a lot of pop-ups?
No, it just was a dumb site. Guys, come on. Get an engineer in and fix it. I come from the Bay Area. I expect quality online design. That is what I expect.
Okay.
Yeah.
I should use Squarespace.
Nice.
No promo for that this week? Oh,
no. All right. So the thing about the Slender Man is that he grew into bigger than just a fictional character. So first off, people will cosplay him, which is an amazing and creepy thing. The idea of going to a con and cosplaying as a fictional character on a very obscure forum online. That's so because then you know who is actually a fan. Because anyone who comes up to me is like, yes, that. You're like, oh, 1 in 20,000 people knows who I am. That person's amazing.
I wonder if they got that Buffy reference on. Oh, are you from Buffy? No, man, I'm Slender Man.
Yeah, I'm sure they get that all the time.
Oh, look at him.
Thank you for that. That's not going to give us all nightmares. For those listening, our engineer, Marissa, decided to put up a photo of someone cosplaying as Slender Man at a convention. That's not terrifying. Thanks.
It's kind of like Hitman mixed with that Green Man suit. They wore that.
Yeah, I know.
So Charlie Day just be like,
a little bit. So also, although the original author of Slender Man, whose name is... he went under the username Victor Surge, but his real name is Eric Knudsen with a silent K at the beginning. Knudsen. So Victor Surge. He has said that although many people understand that Slender Man was created and is not real, people still entertain the possibility that it might be real. So this lore, this folk story that went from... some guy was like, I'm going to write a funny story that's scary. I put it on the internet, blew up into this huge thing, and people started to believe that it was real, which is how we get to where we are today in this episode. What are you looking up?
Sorry, nothing. Looking at other memes. Great. Because it was great.
For those listening, that was a pen cap. I just threw it, Roya. Okay. So, this story grew, and... apparently what happened was 2 12-year-old girls in Wisconsin allegedly held down a 12-year-old classmate and stabbed her 19 times. And they said that they did it because it was the first step to become an acolyte of the Slender Man.
Did the girl die? The 12-year-old?
No, the girl did not die because a passing cyclist intervened. So she survived. One of the girls
Did they use a butter knife?
No.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, I'm assuming you're a 12-year-old girl stabbing another girl who's probably, like, there's two of you, you're holding her down, so she's probably fighting. And who knows how strong they are.
I don't like how you thought this out already.
What? You're asking, so I'm figuring this out. They probably were trying to stab her and she was fighting. Therefore, 19 stabs is probably, we're trying to get in and missing. That was not where I was going. But also, like, they can't get in deep enough. Sorry, everybody. Great. We're talking about stabs with a knife. Okay. One of the girls said that the Slender Man watches her, can read her mind, and teleports. Also, she said, this is your favorite part, she said during court that she believes she had conversations with He Who Shall Not Be Named, as well as one of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I want to know which Ninja Turtle that was.
Me too.
I bet you it was Ralph, because he's a dick.
Yeah.
I bet you. No, seriously. I don't think Leo would have ever thought about that. Donatello, he's too busy with his computers. Meanwhile, Michelangelo's busy eating pizza. I'm pretty sure none of them would have time except for Ralph, because he's got anger issues.
I want to know what he said, because the only thing I imagine the Turtles ever saying is, order pizza. Call and order pizza. You know what I mean?
Maybe they misunderstood that order in the pizza. Maybe it's like, oh, pizza, you need a knife. Oh, 12-year-old girl, let's stab. 19 pizza, 19 stabs, got it.
19-inch stabs, got it. Okay. So, Knudsen, the author, he made a statement. He said, I'm deeply saddened by the tragedy in Wisconsin. My heart goes out to the families and those affected by this terrible act. But he would not give any interviews about the story and what happened and whatever.
And I really like PR, because any kind of PR is good PR. It's probably what he was thinking.
I disagree.
Well, they made a story about it on Law & Order.
Well, SVU likes to rip from the headlines.
Yeah.
Also, after this happened, there were more stories coming out of things like this. So apparently an unidentified woman in Ohio told the TV reporters that her 13-year-old daughter had attacked her with a knife and written some of our own fan fiction involving the Slender Man. And the mother says that it was motivated by the Slender Man. The daughter was so obsessed with this that she ended up stabbing
What year
her.
was this?
That was, it just says after the first thing that happened, and the first thing happened in May of this year.
It's because Justin Bieber went crazy. That's why. And the tweens don't have anything to look at. Maybe that's what it is. That they got really upset.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that the fans of the Slender Man stories are not the same fans as they're not believers.
Could be. They're believers, maybe.
Probably not. There's another story in September. A 14-year-old in Florida allegedly set her family's house on fire while her mother and 9-year-old brother were inside. She had been reading the Slender Man stories online in an ebook called Soul Eater, and that she had been visiting a lot of websites with Slender Man information and stories, and it would be safe to say there's a connection there. This reminds me a lot of Columbine, when people were like, oh, he listened to Marilyn Manson.
Yes, that's exactly what I was just thinking.
Right?
Get out of my head.
Okay. We'll stop having dirty thoughts. So it reminds me a lot of how, people like to take these stories and not really blame them. Because, this story was blamed on, like she even says, this is why I did it, is she believed these things. But it really, upsets me when we end up with stories of people blaming media.
When they just grasp for ideas, kind of like what I did with Justin Bieber, that kind of thing. Like when they just pull and they're like, oh, well, twist and turn, it's a story. It works. It fits the timeline.
Right. If you force it in there, it'll fit.
Exactly.
You heard me. Awesome.
So again, disclaimer, guys.
Yeah. Just kidding. No, seriously, disclaimer. Serious issues.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily.
Thank you. Thank you, Marissa Serafini. Awesome. Why? For those who...
I told you I was looking at memes.
Yeah. Stop it.
Because the Slender Man was.
Yeah. Roya is looking at crap on the internet. Guys, I think it's time for news and gossip.
AFTERBUZZ TV News.
Okay, so a few things. Next episode, which is tomorrow night, but I'm telling you now because it starts tonight. It is the threesome. It is the Chicago Fire SVU Chicago PD threesome crossover. We're just going to keep calling it the threesome.
Because I'm hoping it's going to be just as good.
Yeah, as a threesome? I'm going to just tell you you'll be disappointed. It's not. But we will be breaking down the SVU portion. That said, we will be watching all 3 parts to make sure that we get the full story for you. So if there's anything we're missing from just the SVU portion, we'll let you know. So that is coming up next week, but watch it tonight and tomorrow night. Tonight at 9 and tomorrow at 9 and 10.
Yeah.
Perfect. Also, I have a Stephen Collins update.
Yay!
For those who haven't been paying attention, which disappoints me, Stephen Collins is the dad from Seventh Heaven, who allegedly said during a therapy session that he had molested 3 girls when he was many years ago. And his wife had recorded this and released it to the police. The update is, he also lost a lot of jobs. The update is that within 2 hours of TMZ releasing the tapes on the internet, he was fired from 2 movies. Within 2 hours, fired from 2 movies. His thing on Scandal was pulled. He was supposed to have a guest spot on Scandal. It was removed. The Seventh Heaven reruns stopped airing on every channel. And he lost pretty much all his work. So the update is that he is filing to not pay spousal support to his wife. So like alimony, he's like, I'm not going to be able to pay that because she released these tapes. I can't get work. Therefore, I can't pay her alimony.
So was that him kind of saying that might be true?
No. It's him saying that regardless of its being true, she released this, therefore he can't work, which he was paying for her support.
Okay, I understand that. But I honestly think it's a little bit unfair for them to pull things like that. Like his past work should not be pulled. Like his Seventh Heaven reruns. Because not only is he being affected by that, but everyone else on the cast is being affected by the reruns.
That's true.
So it's not really fair for one to spoil the bunch.
Yeah.
And it's, like you said, allegedly.
Allegedly, there were these tapes where he admitted, I listened to them.
Because, I mean, he had $3 on Seventh Heaven, right?
It wasn't them.
I know it wasn't them.
Okay.
But I'm just saying he had $3, so maybe there was some kind of, I don't know, I'm not his detective. I'm not his
I don't know what you're talking about at this point, but I'll tell you this. I've listened to the tapes. He very much admits to what he did. Also, that just is my favorite thing is that he's like, well, and he says in the quote that I read, it was that I won't work for at least another year. I'm sorry.
That's it?
Yeah, you won't work for many more years, sir.
Well, at least he's got a positive attitude about it. 1 year. All right, so I got 12 months. Just go kick it somewhere.
I mean, the whole thing started about a month or 2 ago, so he's only got 10 months to go.
See, he can work at another job. Restaurant job, maybe.
I would
work at Froyo, maybe.
I'm going to be real honest. If he started working at a restaurant, we would definitely go to that restaurant.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
Hopefully it's not Hooters.
Why would he work at Hooters?
Oh, they're too old for him. That's right. Huh?
Yeah.
Good point.
Roya. All right, that was the news. Let's go into predictions.
And now, your AFTERBUZZ TV predictions.
Okay, so here's what I know about the threesome that's coming. We have... What? Shut up, Roya. Okay, so we start in Chicago Fire.
Yes.
From what I saw in the previews, they will be investigating a fire. That
really?
Yes. That
Good job,
results
Yael.
in them finding, I believe, kiddie porn photos, which is how we get to SVU. I'm going to make an assumption that some of those kids or the person whose house it is from New York, which is how we get to New York. Yes?
I see your prediction.
Yeah.
And I saw some other previews from Chicago PD preview. So I was like, I want to see all 3 previews, right?
Good call.
So yes, they will come across kiddie porn and they'll be their fire and that's it. It's in a safe firebox apparently. And one of those pictures will be probably Sophia Bush's character on Chicago PD's little brother.
I thought you were going with it would be Sophia Bush as a child.
I mean, her character had a lot of backstory, so it might be, but I think it's gonna be more her brother.
Okay.
And then it's gonna be when maybe if they lived in New York or something, maybe the kid, it happened in New York. Therefore, all three are tied. But if Sophia Bush dies, I will be very upset.
So you're predicting that she
Because she gets
die?
shot. In one of the previews, she gets shot. She's with Benson and pow!
I'm sorry. How many times did
I
Stabler
know.
get shot?
But Stabler's a man. Like, the Hulk kind of man. Like, bullets bounce off of him.
Sophia Bush she's a man as well.
I mean, they surprised me on the first episode of Chicago PD when they killed somebody. I'm not going to say who, but...
Okay.
In case some people haven't started watching, you know.
I haven't started watching. Thank you for not spoiling it.
You're welcome. But yeah, so I think I agree with your prediction of the tie-in.
Yeah.
But I think Sophia Bush is going to have more of a storyline.
Yeah. I'll tell you this. I was disappointed that this episode, this is going to sound like a terrible statement, disappointed this episode had zero rape or molestation or anything. It was
the calm before the storm.
It was the calm before the storm. I'll take it. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Awesome. This was Glasgowman's Wrath.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. Roya, why don't you tell the people where they can find you at home?
At home? Oh, okay.
Online. When they're at home, where they can find you.
Well, just letting you know, guys, again, one more time with the phone number.
Yes.
If you ever have any problem, National Sexual Assault Hotline. Sorry, I don't know where I was going with that.
Nope.
But again, the phone number is 1-800-656-HOPE. That's HOPE. And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at HeyRoya. That's HeyRoya. And yeah, and some other after shows as well.
Awesome. You can, of course, find me online at Yael.tv. That's YAEL.tv. Also here at AfterBuzz on a lot of shows, including Constantine and Grimm and many others.
You should just follow us on Twitter and you'll figure out what show we're on.
Yeah, let me tell you where I am on Twitter. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Google+, at Yael Tygiel. That's YAELTYGIEL. And we will see you next week for the threesome.
Woohoo!
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Dun, dun.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.